First of all, thank you very much. Can you all hear me back there? Yes, perfect. Okay. Thank you very much for including me today. Last time I stood on the stage, it was on the aftermath of a tragedy that happened that I know you were aware of right before Christmas. So that's a little nerve-wracking, but first I wanted to say I am very honored to be here today, not just because as a student I sat in the very same auditorium that you're sitting in today, or not just because I was a teacher and honored to stand in front of you to guide you, but also because what we have here at Girls High School, which is different from other high schools around the city, and that is this idea of community, this idea of family that allows us to have this interconnectedness that you don't see elsewhere. So I'm honored to be chosen to speak in front of you today. And I want to say that in case you don't know, my new job, for those of you who had me as a teacher, actually involves me going from school to school and seeing what's going on, not just with their science program, but their academic program in general, and trying to fill a need when I see it, whether that is to provide books or lab materials if it's science related, or in some cases professional directives for teachers on how to teach a certain subject matter. But the one thing that I do when I'm from school to school is, going from school to school that is noting who's there to advocate for the kids. One thing I could say is if you are sitting in a seat here today, someone has advocated on your behalf, meaning there's no way that you would actually have entered this building without a signature from a guidance counselor, a parent, someone else in your life that supports you and loves you and wants the best. That is not the case for every child in every school around the country, and especially here in the city of Philadelphia. In fact, the large majority, about 80% of students, go into neighborhood schools, which is not a bad thing, but it's just different than being in a school where you have been chosen to be elected as part of the student body. Because you have that honor of being here, and as I mentioned, because of this interconnectedness that we have in this community of learning, you also have a legacy that you are expected to leave behind. I had a poster in my classroom that read, "A lot of women that sat in your seats have gone on to do many things." And the question that was posed then, what will your legacy be? As I'm sure you already know, because we love to tell you the history of Girls High, there are people that have graduated from this school that have risen to be the first female mayor, the first president of an Ivy League school as a female, the first minister, the first, it's endless, the amount of talent in terms of musicians, poets, Grammy-winning, songwriters, things that you don't even think of yet because you're still sitting here trying to decide what you want to do. People have gone on, the seed was planted in this building and gone on to achieve wonderful things. What I wanted to say, aside from that, and recognizing that you are already here, so you've kind of set the tone for your future, is that the other day I had a chance to view a film that was called The Impossible Visionary. And the film was actually about the jobs of the future and preparing our workforce for jobs that we don't even know exist yet. And that's why it was called The Impossible Visionary, which I thought was kind of contradictory. A visionary being someone who can see something that needs to be done, see something that others do not see, and work towards that goal. And I thought when you put the word impossible in front of it, well, it sounds as if it's limiting, right? That you see what needs to be done, but it's impossible. What I thought about after I saw the film was, instead, if we turn that phrase around and not refer to it as the tech jobs of the future that we may or may not be prepared for, because I am a science person, although the skills I teach might help you in those endeavors, I'm not a technology person. So that was kind of a little nerve-wracking for me, thinking, well, I don't know if what I'm doing today is prepping the future, but if I turn that phrase around, impossible visionary, and I say instead, what if I, as an individual, or you for that matter, take that to mean that you are going to see what is wrong in the world today and try to fix it, meaning not going about your day, and I'm not going to talk about the political environment either, with arrogance or ignorance, but instead say, I'm here with you together, and we, as a community at Girls High School, are going to rise above. That's the impossible visionary in my mind, meaning that you don't even know what you're going to do yet in the future, and it might seem impossible today, but it absolutely can be done. You have somebody behind you, and at this point, most likely you have an entire community behind you, supporting you, loving you, caring for you. If you don't have what you need in a classroom, I hope you're going to find someone who can support you elsewhere. If it is not the individual standing and delivering every day, then maybe it's a peer, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's someone in your community, in your church, who is willing to reach out, lend a hand, and pull you up when you can't pull yourself up. Because, as I said, being in this building, the seed is planted. Where you will go will be up to you. The legacy you're going to leave behind is going to depend on your life experiences, and what you see needs to be done for the future. So if you could, for a minute, humor me like you're at church on Sunday. Put your hands out to both of the people on either side of you. Even if you don't want to touch her hand, you can use antibacterial later. Put your hand to the person. If she's sleeping, she's not ready, so don't touch her hand. She might swat at you. Thank you. Person to the left of you, please say, I am with you. Person to the right of you, quiet down. Person to the right of you. Hang on, bring it back. Person to the right of you, say, I am here with you. Please stand for a moment with those hands in motion. Stand up. Thank you for those who are standing. Those who are not, you must not be ready. Please say, and we are impossible visionaries. Yes, you are, girls. Thank you for bringing me back. I love you. Good luck in the future. Thanks, parents.